Hello there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you again. This time, coming at you with a story from California. And this is a good one. I tell you, when evil people, wicked people, and people that don't believe in God have no faith, they truly know how to stick it to other people, thinking that they're justified, you know. Um, and it's sad because with everything that's going on in this day and age all around the country, people, in my opinion, need more faith. And believe me, it's not hard dealing with everyday life, but you would think that with all the chaos that's going on, more people will be looking for God, looking for help. But not in California. In California and many other blue states, they really are trying to X God out of people's lives, from the schools, communities, neighborhoods, households, and think that it's okay to do so because since they don't believe in a higher being, they believe in the ways of this world. They think that's what really matters and that's what counts. And they're really straightforward and blatant about it. Um, so there's a story right now that I'm gonna show you out of California of the city wanting to take down a cross that's been around since 1970, and you really need to hear the comments that the city officials had to say about it. Here we go.
For more than 5 decades, Christians in one California community gathered to worship in front of a cross overlooking San Francisco Bay. Now the faithful are fighting to restore their beloved symbol after the city removed it in the wake of a years-long legal battle with a secular group claiming the cross had no place on public property. Darina Osborne grew up praying at that cross. Her grandparents were the original owners of the land where the cross stood. She joins us now. Darina, thank you for being here. Why the battle over a symbol that's been there for 50 years? Your family owned it? Did it become public land? What was the dispute the city was willing to take it down for?
Oh, yes. Well, the cross was placed there back in 1970, and 1971, 1973, an easement was created. So on private land, my grandparents' land, an easement for the cross was there created to protect it for all time. However, the city has acquired that land and has actually had the land for some time, but not the easement. So the cross really should be considered separate from the public park.
Interesting. So it was intended to protect it for all time, but the city has now gone after it. What's the rationale? Just can't have any Christian symbols that would be conceived as part of public land?
Well, they would like a park unencumbered by a religious symbol. However, this religious symbol has predated the city's ownership with the legal easement, so that should protect it.
Interesting. Well, here's what the Albany, California mayor.
Now listen to what this mayor has to say, and you tell me that wickedness is not rampant all around, especially in California.
Said about the cross removal. The mayor said, the city has actually put its money where its mouth is, and our city looks a bit more accepting now in a way that we think is consistent with our values.
So let me guess. The drugs, the crime, pedophile Hollywood, crooked politicians, anybody's idea who that might be?
For the small local group of people who really want to see the cross stay, we've had such privilege for so long. Losing it feels like being oppressed.
You believe the condescending attitude that this man has? If that is not the most condescending shit to say to somebody, I don't know what is. I mean, for you got a governor like Gavin Newsom saying that California is the shit. That's where it's at. Everybody move to California. This, and that. And yet you got mayors like this being very condescending to religious people, and once again to Christians, not Muslims, not Jews, not Hindus, nothing like that, not Buddhists, nothing like that, but to Christians. Listen to the rest.
It's going to be an adjustment for folks, but I think we will all get used to it, and I think it's a real benefit.
Let me tell you something. I pray that man finds God for him to use these words. I'm even surprised that so-called liberal organizations that are for everybody are not bashing this man for what he said. California has become, and it's been building up for a very long time, but it has become the new Sin City. Forget Vegas. Fuck Vegas. Vegas people go, they do their thing, But what's going on in California is just beyond wickedness. They idolize and celebrate trans activism and all kinds of transgender ideologies and the illegal immigration and the drugs, the crime, Hollywood trying to push back on the movie Sound of Freedom, which tells me that they idolize pedophilia and child sex trafficking and just all the wickedness. And then for this mayor to say something like this, knowing that people go and they want to meet up, they want to pray for each other, pray for others, pray for the city, pray for for God to have forgiveness on everything that's going on, and for him to say, when you've had such privilege for so long, losing it feels like being oppressed. That's going to be an adjustment for folks. Really? I wonder if he would say that to the black community over there. They're screaming for reparations. If he would tell them, I know losing it feels like being oppressed. That is going to be an adjustment for folks. But I think we will all get used to it. Really? Who's we when he's making this comment? Who is we that he's talking about? This is why California is losing so many people. This is why people in California are moving out of this wicked fucking city, this wicked fucking state. Now, I'm not saying everybody in California is wicked. No, there's many beautiful people there. But for this man to call himself, to be the mayor of Albany, California, and to treat religious people like this, I'd be just upset if he said the same thing. For as much as I don't believe in there should be mosque in America, that's my personal belief. Nothing against Muslims. I just have a personal belief because of certain things that I've read and stuff like that. But if a mayor came out and said this to a bunch of Muslims and said, you can't have that mosque because you've had such privilege for so long, losing it feels like being oppressed. That's going to be an adjustment. I would be just as upset and be like, whoa, wait a minute. You cannot be that fucking condescending to people and their faith. That is not your role, to pick and choose sides as the mayor. You're supposed to try to bring everybody where they can meet in the middle. But to go and say something like this, and once again, like I said, Christians being attacked in California. Kirk Cameron being shut down in New York in a public library. I'm sorry, not New York, I forgot the state. But it's like so many Christians are being shut down, and yet the left says that they are the party of tolerance, of love, of acceptance. These are the people running these cities. From California to Chicago to New York, wherever it's at, they're running these blue cities, and they're taking away more. It's like it you know, he says losing it feels like being oppressed. Yes, because you are oppressing somebody's freedom of religion. And in my opinion, it's against the Constitution. And I know some people are going to say, well, you know, that's city property, and you know, you'll have some Satanists and all. You know, I don't pay attention to Satan, and I have no tolerance for anybody that has no faith. That has no faith. Because for them to come out and say, you know what, I don't believe in this, so it's a free for all, but I'm a good person. No, I'm sorry, that's not how it works. That's just not how it fucking works. I'm sorry. You know? It's horrible. Well, we need more in those blue cities, in those blue states. They need more God, more Jesus, more prayer. Because look at the chaos and destruction. Look at the chaos that ensued down in Union Square in New York. The havoc. Hundreds upon hundreds, if not, it looked like thousands of kids and teenagers rioting out there. Just causing fucking mayhem. And now you got people coming out the woodwork, going against the cops, saying that, oh, it was just a bunch of kids. Just like that, the governor in Chicago, every single time the kids have those riots, he says, you can't talk bad about them. Don't say that. It's not a riot. It's not a mob. Don't say that. What the fuck you mean don't say that? It's exactly what the fuck it is. Call it for what the fuck it is. But it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't. California, little by little, has become such a den of vipers. All these blue states have nothing but wicked two-headed snakes running them. And people better start waking up. They've taken God out of school and brought in drag queens. They're trying to take God out of the homes, and since they can't succeed in that, they're trying to take the children away. During the pandemic, they were shutting down churches left and right, telling people that that they could not go to church and pray and sing. Who are you to tell people how and when they should worship? If you don't believe in my faith, leave me alone. I don't believe in the Muslim faith. I don't knock Muslims. They go about their own business. I don't believe in the Jewish faith. They go about their own business. I don't believe in the Buddhist faith. I believe in the Christian faith. But I don't go out there and start knocking everybody else's faith. Leave them alone. If that's where they want to pray, that's where they want to pray. At least they're praying. At least they're praying. It's better than walking out on the street a damn heathen with no faith causing havoc. But it seems like California, little by little, is becoming the new big sin city. Well, let's continue.
So just get used to it, is what they're saying, and it's more inclusive to remove it.
It's very disappointing. There's so many people who feel that this is persecution against their faith. I just would hope that it would be able to be there for my...
And it is persecution. It says it in the Bible. God said you will be persecuted for my name's sake. And like I said in one of my other videos, you know, people say, oh, that was written by, is a fairy tale, was written 2,000 years ago. Listen, if it was written 10 years ago, and that passage still came up, here you go. Here's the persecution. You don't see nobody telling Muslims what to do. As a matter of fact, in New York, you see the Muslims in the street. When they need to pray, they will block the sidewalk and get on their knees and start praying. Nobody persecutes them. Nobody persecutes them. You know? But here comes the persecution of the Christians. And it's happening more and more and more and more. And to whoever out there does not believe in God and does not believe in the Bible, open it up, read it. When it talks about the persecution of how Christians will be persecuted because of his namesake, be very careful, because the time is close if this continues. God's not going to let you mock him. But these leftists, they think that, you know what, everything is gravy. Well, let's continue.
My children and their children, and I hope it comes back.
What's your recourse, Dorina? What can you do to fight to bring it back?
Well, I know that the Lions Club are the ones who hold the title of the easement, but the city has got prejudgment possession of that title. I feel like that's injustice, and it's against our First Amendment rights of freedom of religion.
So are you going to take it to court? Take him to court on this?
Oh, it's already been in court. In fact, on the 18th of last month, we gave testimony as to how it really hurts us so much, and we would like to have it back. And we'll take it as far as it goes. We're fighting to get it back.
Good for you. That's what you have to do. Be willing to take it as far as it goes for freedom and religious expression, especially at a time when there's a Supreme Court that seems a lot more keen on recognizing the importance and value of symbols like this. Dorina Osborne, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You got it.
We need more faith in this country. We need more prayer in this country. You know, with all the chaos that's going on, I'm very surprised that even though there are a lot of people, you know, turning to God, but to look at things like this, you would think there's not. You would think that it's being destroyed. It's not being destroyed. You can't destroy what God has created. Take that in any which way you want, but you just can't. And I really do hope that a lot more people start waking up. Listen, we're all sinners at the end of the day, but God loves us all. And we all battle with all kinds of sin every day. But to blatantly go out there and just start persecuting people just because, you know, especially if you're a non-believer and you get off on that, people need to be very careful with that way of life. God will get your attention. He will get your attention. And then what are you going to say? I'm sorry? Don't put yourselves in that situation. Now, I'm not saying you got to watch my video and right away get on your knees and start. No, it's a process to come to God. God's always there, but it's a process to go to him. But to persecute non-stop. You know, the way they persecute Christians when it comes, against abortion, against all kinds of things that people just don't believe in. And then to call those people fascist and racist and hateful and bigoted. It's like, really? You're the one persecuting me. You're the one telling me that I should get used to feeling oppressed. And this is what the left does. Listen to the words that man wrote, that mayor. It doesn't surprise me he used those words in his statement. It doesn't surprise me. He said the quiet part out loud. The Democrats are all about suppression. And if people say, well, that's against the Christians, once they get rid of certain groups, they will go after their own and make their group smaller so they can control it. If history has taught us anything, that's exactly the way that plan always has worked. Use one group against the other one to do your dirty bidding, and then when you get rid of the other group, then they downsize in their group so they can control that group. So all you people that are for this and all you people on the left that are for all these things that are going on, be very careful. Because if they have their way, there won't be enough room for all of yous. Remember that. I'm True Outlaw Patriot. Please comment, like, subscribe if you like what you see. trying to keep the algorithm going. You can catch me on Rumble also under True Outlaw Patriot. I seem to get a lot more views on there with the same content for some odd reason, and it's a smaller platform. But that's where I'm at. And remember, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace.